Protector or murderer? That is the question. Um, I think this is so near and dear to me because, this young lady right here, makhiabryant, she was killed by this police, makhiabryant was killed by this police officer, Nicholas Reardon. And she looks just like my daughter, man. Yeah, she looks like my kid, and kind of fucks with my head a little bit, a lot, actually. And, there's all kinds of opinions on it. There's all schools of thought, you know, and we're going to get into the video in just a couple seconds. I actually have it. I have the police version of it. So, I'll warn you, it is graphic. Those of you that have probably already seen it, usually, and it has been like where it's either in slow motion or it's kind of blotched out, but I have it like, it was right on YouTube, straight up. But, you could say she was lunging at the girl, and either way a life was going to be taken because it looked like, Micaiah meant business, but that's not the point. If you are not able to apprehend a 16-year-old girl with a knife, yeah, she was a big girl and everything, but you call for backup. If you're too scared, you shouldn't be a fucking cop, okay? Your first recourse should not be to shoot, especially at a child. Now, before we get into this hot and heavy, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. Feel free to join in the comments. I'm going to hold off reading anything for right now until we're kind of through watching the video. And then we can kind of get into a discussion about it. I wanted Coach Joe and DJ, which agreed to come on, but unfortunately my desktop didn't get here. And any of you who were at my live stream that first time know that my laptop is not the best, okay? For guests, unfortunately. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. I will warn you that it is graphic. It's going to show the killing of makhiabryant, but then we can get into a little bit of a discussion about it.
Nicholas Reardon. Officer Reardon was working a one-officer car. He was hired in December of 2019. He's currently assigned to Zone 2, second shift, and he is the officer that discharged his firearm.
Hey! What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, 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 hey! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
No! You ain't shoot my fucking baby! You shot my baby! Are you fucking serious? I didn't do anything! I swear to God, you killed me! Are you fucking serious? She shot!
Back up.
Is she shot?
She had a knife. She just went at her.
She's a fucking kid, man! Damn, are you stupid? A fucking kid? Hold on. I told you.
Later, let's go.
Shoot a girl, and she ain't come at you with no life. She fucking came out here.
She came out with a knife earlier.
No, she just. That's what the police did.
That lady on the floor?
She came after me
With a knife?
Yeah, so he got her. Can you please get my phone and stuff? Please,
Have a seat for me. Have a seat for me. Yes, we'll get it. We'll get everything.
Please, sir.
Oh man, that's crazy, you know. So let's get into it. You know, what do you guys think about this? You know, it to me, and it's so funny because I saw Hoop Jargon's channel yesterday. He was talking about it as well, and apparently he had been on another stream where they had kind of picked it apart. And he said some things that kind of, made me, it reminded me of how I was thinking about it, because when I looked at it and I saw how she was lunging at her with that knife, I'm like, shit, she's about to kill this girl. And if you look, the reason why I also included the video of the young woman that was being attacked is because from her point of view, she was glad he was there. So it raised the question, was he a protector or a murderer? Because if you listen to his reaction to everything after he shot her, it wasn't one of silence. It wasn't one of a cold, hard killer. It was, well, she was gonna kill the other girl. She had a knife. So I think that this guy genuinely thought, Nicholas Reardon genuinely thought that he was protecting the other girl, that Makhiah was lunging after. So is it fair to judge him as a cold-blooded murderer if in fact he thought he was doing the right thing by protecting the other young woman? Jen and I were talking about this last night. Absolutely not. Here's the thing. He's only been a cop since 2019. So yeah, he's got a lot of growing to do. But he also had other alternatives. First of all, you shouldn't have pulled your gun out in the first place until you know the situation. Nobody lunged at you with the knife. Nobody pointed a gun at you. Nobody came at you. So the fact that the gun came right out immediately was wrong, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not a trained police officer. I don't know what their protocol is. But I thought that, first of all, if you're going to pull the gun out, shoot at her knee or something, man. Why would you shoot to kill a kid? And she's a big girl. Maybe he didn't realize he was shooting at a 16-year-old kid. But shoot her foot, startle her, but raise the gun, fire a warning shot in the air, okay? And let her know you mean business, put the fucking knife down. You don't aim to kill somebody who's not physically threatening you. And that is why these police officers are going through this shit. It's like that's their first instinct. Like, okay, take for instance Dante Wright, the police officer, Potter, the woman who shot him, okay? She ended up leaving her house and fleeing because she, I guess, thought she was wrong. She said she thought she was pulling out her taser, or she mistakenly pulled her gun out in place of her taser. Okay, first of all, tasers don't have triggers, okay? And when you realize that it wasn't the taser, why would you pull the trigger? Tasers don't have triggers. They have like buttons that you push. So you knew the difference between a gun and a taser when you pulled that trigger. Okay? So, and then the Adam Toledo kid who was 13, man, back in March, they killed him, 13 years old. And this kid was killed for having a firearm, which, as it turned out, because this ready, fire, aim shit's got to stop, they killed him after he dropped the gun and put his hands up. He had surrendered. So what was the need for shooting at him again when he had clearly raised a white flag and said, hey, called no joy, hey, I don't want to get killed, and put his hands up? Clearly no longer a threat. Was killed anyway. 13. Okay. It's got to stop, man. It has got to stop. You know, the killing of our children, the killing of our future. Is that what the goal is? To take us out at the embryo stage? To take us out when we're young? I mean, where's the thinking there? You know? Why was Nicholas Reardon's first instinct to fire at this young woman? Why didn't he go up to her and show her that, listen, hey, I will use extreme force if need be, put the knife down, she didn't look like she could be reasoned with, I guess was the point. She had her hand pulled back like she was ready to drive that dagger right through that young woman's heart. I get it, okay? But if you're going to try to stop the girl and you didn't think you could physically stop her, then damn it, like I said, fire a warning shot in the air or shoot her kneecap out or something so that she dropped to the ground and wasn't able to harm the young woman. You don't need to take her life before it's even started, you know? And certainly that had to be for the parents to see that. I mean, the guy's like, you know, did you just kill my baby? Come on, man. You know, I wish there were some of you here because I would really like to know your opinions on this, you know. But my opinion is either way you look at it, he was a murderer because he didn't think it through. His first instinct was to just kill. Kill or be killed, yeah, but his first instinct was just pull out that weapon and fire. You know, he hadn't even tried to talk to anybody, assess the situation, just screaming, hey, a few times. Hey, 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 ain't gonna cut it. Hey, 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 what was that supposed to do? Okay, you're a grown-ass man. You run up on her and you try to get, hey, look, when you sign up to be a police officer, that's what you do. You put your life in danger. That's part of the job. You know, you run up on that girl and you try to apprehend that knife the best way you can. If you get stabbed in the process, oh, well, that's what the fuck you signed up for. But you would have saved the other woman's life either way. Your first instinct should not have been shoot to kill. You know? Hey, what's going on, Queen? Just talking about Nicholas Reardon, this cop who shot Makhiabryant. You know? Is he a protector or is he a murderer? You know? And I showed the video a little while ago, and it's like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? It's crazy because he, you know, you could clearly see that she lunged at her. You know what I mean? She lunged at the young woman. And if you want, you know what I mean? Since you're here, hey, I'm like Rev, I don't care if it's one person or two people here. Let's watch this thing again real quick. Because I don't know if you've seen it. And if you have, then I apologize. But yeah, it is a little graphic. But I'm going to go ahead and kick it out.
Nicholas Reardon. Officer Reardon was working a one-officer car. He was hired in December of 2019. He's currently assigned to Zone 2, second shift, and he is the officer that discharged his firearm.
Hey! What's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, 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 hey! Get down! Get down! Get down! Get down!
No! You ain't shoot my fucking baby! You shot my baby! Are you fucking serious? I swear to God, you killed me fucking shot! Are you stupid? Are you fucking serious? She shot!
Back up.
Is she shot?
She had a knife. She just went at her.
She's a fucking kid, man. Damn, are you stupid? A fucking kid?
Okay.
Hold on. I tell you something. I tell you something.
Later, let's go first.
Shoot a girl. And she ain't come at you with no knife. She fucking came at me.
She came out at you with a knife earlier?
No, she just, that's what the police did.
That lady on the floor?
She came after me.
With a knife?
Yeah, so he got her. Can you please get my phone and stuff, please?
Have a seat for me.
Can you
Have a
please
seat
get
for
my phone?
me. Yes, we'll get it. We'll get everything.
Please, sir.
You know, all of them were killed. I mean, these cops, their first instinct is to shoot first, you know, ready, fire, and then aim. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it's not right. It's not right. Let me enlarge your comment here, sweetie, so I can see it. Okay, so there was no need. Right. There was no need for it. She's a child. And he could have done it differently. Let's discuss that for a moment. Okay. He definitely. Okay, so he couldn't. My thing is, why didn't you get up on her and try to apprehend the knife? Because she's a bigger girl. He didn't look like he weighed but $105. So I get it. But if you're intimidated by her, wait for backup something. And I guess you could argue the other young woman could have been dead, but that's what he signed up for, Queen. He signed up to put his life in harm's way to protect others, to protect and serve. That's what they do. Lunge at her. And here's my thing. Her back was to him. That's another thing that pissed me off about it. She would not have seen him coming. He could have gotten to her and grabbed the knife some kind of way. Shoot the girl's kneecap out, anything. But why did you have to take her life? You know, he could have fired a warning shot in the air and scared the shit out of her. And that way she knew, okay, no, your life is up for grabs right now. If you continue on the path that you're on, because nobody's excusing what she did. It's like Hoop Jargon says, when you put yourself in a situation for somebody to react like that, then you kind of get what you asked for. You put yourself in the, and I am in agreement with that. She should have never been lunging at that girl with a knife. But hell no, the cop should, either way, somebody was going to die that day. She looked like she was at that girl with a vengeance. And that girl was on the other side of this argument. She thought he acted as a protector. She clearly said she was coming at me and he got her. So then it's like, okay, did the cop do his job? Because this other woman was protected. But to your point, he could have done it differently. But his first thought, being a fresh new cop, because he's only been on the force for a couple years, was pull out my gun and shoot. You know, pull out my gun and shoot. So that's what, you know, I'm not in agreement with. In my case, in my instance, I'm thinking he's a murderer. It's just like the Potter woman that shot Dante Wright, thinking that she said she mistook her gun for a taser. And I was saying tasers don't have triggers, man. That's bullshit. And when you realized it was your gun, why did you fire it? It certainly didn't go off by itself. They don't issue damaged weapons or faulty weapons to police officers. It didn't just go off. She pulled that trigger. You know? And then the kid who, Adam Toledo, the little Latino boy, 13 years old, Queen. 13. You know? That's absolutely insane. He dropped a gun that turned out not to be loaded, dropped it and put his hands up and still got shot. Right. 4 fucking times. I'll say it for you. They were teenage girls. BS grown ass men. Right. Grown ass men. He's a whole bitch for it. Hell yeah. And I'm reading them out. You know? Thank you for being politically correct. I'm not gonna do it. Okay? He was a bitch. Okay? That's a bitch move right there. Because, like I said, you had her from behind, man. You could have lunged at her from behind and apprehended the knife. She didn't see you coming, apparently, because if she saw you had a fucking gun pointed at her, she would have probably got some wits about her and put the knife down. But he didn't give her that opportunity. Didn't even shoot her in the leg so she could fall to the ground. He shot to kill repeatedly. You know? Repeatedly. This girl lost her life for what? Because he didn't know what to do. That Karen ass cop, too, is a damn fool. She needed to get convicted, too, like Derek Chauvin. Yeah. Talking about she mistook her gun for a fucking taser. Come on now. Tasers don't have triggers. When you realized that it was your gun, why did you then proceed to use the gun? You knew it was, oh, damn, I got my gun. I meant to let me get my taser. That's how that works. Not, oh, I got my gun. Oh, well, let me just fire. And then, because I Wikipedia'd that, right? And then she apparently apparently her address got leaked on social media. So she packed up and got the F out of Dodge. She left her house because I guess she felt threatened by anybody who knew him or whatever. So she left town. Her and the police chief rolled out and they resigned. And then she ended up being apprehended and arrested for second-degree manslaughter. Queen Royalty, shout out to you, baby girl. She says, I am sick and tired of the BS. I know people of color, and I'm Puerto Rican. Okay, so yeah, the Adam Toledo was Latino. So color runs in me, even though I'm light-skinned. I've got family that look the part, and I worry for them. You should worry. You should worry, my girl, because we are in danger, okay? We are definitely in danger. I believe that I'm protected by the Most High, and, you know, I feel safe in that. But yeah, you should worry because it's you know, they're talking about putting curfews out in some places. Okay, think about that for a minute. Curfew from the police? What sense does that make? We need protection from the protectors. The people who are supposed to be protecting us, we need protection from. I'm not staying in my house. Put their asses away. You know? Put their asses away. Maybe they should only arm them with tasers. You know, you want to go out there and just fire at will? Take the fucking gun away. What kind of courage do you have at that point? You learn how to apprehend somebody another way. Now, yeah, that's stupid. If they're going to be out there protecting people's lives, then okay, yeah, they need a firearm, because when they come up against gun, you can't bring a gun to a knife fight and vice versa. But yesterday, Makhiabryant didn't have a chance. But that also says to me that he had the extreme advantage and he took full advantage of it. He could have gotten up behind her and tried to apprehend the knife. He's a grown man. Men are naturally stronger than women, certainly girls. Yeah, it's all BS. It's all BS, you know? And it's like, it seems like it's never ending. I mean, it's happening more and more frequently. And the people are getting younger and younger. You know, George Floyd, you know, he was an older guy, but then, you know, Adam Toledo was 13, Queen. 13 years old. Dante Wright was 20. He literally was fresh out of his teens. I mean, he was the earliest of the 20s that you can get. 20. Okay. He just got finished being a teenager. And then Makhiabryant was only 16. Come on now. Come on now. They taking it out. They taking us out too young. They trying to stop us from growing into adults and shit. I'm going to get them at the embryo stage. What, they going to kill babies next? You know? So anyway, that's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, and it's insane. And even though he thought he was doing the right thing, I don't think it was a racial killing in this instance. I do think he was dead wrong for his reaction, but I don't think this was necessarily race related. It just happened to be a young black woman that was shot, because he legitimately, was thinking that he was protecting the other girl who was also black. So I don't think it was racially motivated, but he was looking, he's like, well, she had a knife. She was going after her. It's a procedural thing with this guy. His first instinct was to pull out his gun and freaking fire that gun, regardless of safety of anybody else around. All he knew was, I can't get the knife, so I'm just going to shoot her down, which is bullshit. You need better training if you don't know another way to apprehend a suspect. Bunch of babies die. Right. Bunch of babies dying. Even if they're adults, it don't matter. That's right, Queen. There's a way to handle these situations. Exactly. Killing people ain't it. I mean, you preaching to the jury, preaching to the choir. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I completely agree. I think we pretty much concur that it was bullshit, and that there's no reason why this cop really should be allowed back on the force. Go find something else to do, man. Go find something else to do if you're that scared, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I ain't trying to pick on the guy, but he does look really nerdy. He looks like a guy that was probably picked on in school, and bullied. So his first thought is to shoot the bully. Yeah, I'm a cop now. I got a gun. I'm protected. I can shoot your ass. Okay, well, that ain't right either. You got to learn how to think things through. More experienced officer would have definitely handled that differently. But thank you, my queen. Thank you for coming to the stream. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I just needed to vent about that, man, because that just was near and dear to my heart, only because that girl looks just like my daughter, and I'm like, damn, could have been my kid, Either way, I appreciate you stopping by, baby girl. And I am going to continue to do these live streams. They'll be at different times. I'm going to learn how to warn people, so maybe I can get a better turnout. But I'm so glad that you came, and I'm so glad that you always come to my streams and interact with me. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to let you get back to what you was doing, and I'm going to play my outro.